Okay. So, welcome to the KSTE Test Security and Ethical Testing Practices presentation. Uh, this is Bob Winkler, and with me is Mark Saylor. Here's some major points we want to cover. Give you an overview of the test, talk about text-to-speech, building test coordinator responsibilities, test preparation before you actually administer the test, test security and test materials, monitoring progress of students and reactivations, some ethics of testing, and acknowledgement and monitoring. Um, there are practice tests available um, at in Kite, and one set has no P and P settings have to be created. A second set does take um, P and Ps, and these are the different ones you can go to. There's instructional mini tests. They're available during the school year. They're aligned to the state curriculum, clusters, and standards. It also allows educators to build or copy tests that have been previously created. Advantages are they provide immediate results. They help you evaluate students' learning. A teachers and adjusting instruction. And KU will be adding additional mini tests during the year.
Bob, before you go
Yeah.
on the mini test, they are adding quite a few mini tests on a daily basis. And if you are a NAEP designated school to be visited this year, they will have NAEP mini tests available so that you can go out there and test drive those.
That's good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, predictives. These, you have to do both of these. So the first window is already closed. The next one will start on January 12th. So if you're on improvement or you did the first set of interims, you got to do both of them in order to get any kind of results that tell you anything meaningful.
Delta test windows from February 2nd to March 13th. DLM students will use the WIDA. For DLM, the test window is February 2nd to April 24th. For general assessment, the window is from March 23rd to April 24th. April 27th to May 8th is for full-time virtual students only. The history, government, social studies test is done in the classroom and it's for grades 4, 7, and 11. If a student is taking a test, prior to them taking that, the P and Ps have to be filled out. That's a personal needs profile. The KELPA test is required for all identified EL students, even EL students who do not receive services, and it also includes DLM students for EL. KELPA test comes in grade bands. That means like they'll have a test that covers first and second and kindergarten, something like that.
Correct.
There's 4 different domains that are tested. It does require an integrated headset. That's one where you have a headphone, but also you have a microphone. Some parts are scored by teachers locally. If you have an SC code you want to submit, it's due to Mark Saylor prior to March 6th, and the teacher scoring has to be completed by April 6th.
So DLM, we kind of briefly went over this earlier. If you have anybody in your building that's taking the DLM test, make sure the teachers understand that they have to access the tip page when they test that student. We've already been called out by KSD on this, and KSD has invited themselves to come to a couple of our buildings to watch and speak to the teachers about using tips. So be aware of that.
Students who enroll uh, up prior to or on March 22nd, 2026 do count for AMOs, must be tested. If they enroll after that date, um, they only count for participation, but we don't have to test them. If you want to, we'll send up a test record. ELA and math tests are aligned to the Kansas College and Career Ready standards. It's for grades 3 through 8 and grade 10. There's 2 sessions per content area. Questions will be multiple choice, technology enhanced items, and they're machine scored. Headphones are optional. Beware of soft breaks. Mark, you want to address that a bit?
Generally, on the ELA and the math, you're going to have 2 different sessions or sections within each session that may or may not have a soft break in there, depending on the grade level and the content area. Most definitely on the math, on grades 4 through 10, you will have a soft break in there. So just beware of it and make sure that there are no omitted items on either section, especially section 1, before you move on. Because as soon as you sign in the second one, you can't go back.
For English language arts, there's approximately 25 questions for each session. They last somewhere between 45 and 60 minutes. There's no delay between session 1 and session 2. Some schools schedule both sessions for the same day, others do it on different days. There's no listening piece. The text to speech option is severely restricted. For English language arts, recent arrivals, formerly known as newcomers, if they came after March 23rd, 2025, they do not have to be tested. But again, we can't say it's enough. Check for omitted items between sections and sessions. All right. Mark, why don't you talk a little bit about text to speech?
Okay, this is a real sore spot, has been for last year and this year both. But for all practical purposes, there is no text to speech for ELA. Uh, there is for science and math. It's a given. Everybody gets it. But for ELA, it's tough. So for ELA, you basically have to have a uh, approved document from KSDE that the school submits. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. For secondary, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but it has to be clearly documented in an IEP, a 504, or an ILP. You do not have to have the approval from KSDE unless you want to have everything read. So the student would essentially have to be legally blind or have severe decoding issues.
Again, just a reminder that few elementary students would ever qualify for this. The text-to-speech documentation. Test quarters must keep on file the documentation for the need for each text-to-speech. You need to update or verify on the P&P spreadsheet that we'll put on the G drive. And just note that the student needs to receive that accommodation. There are no P&P changes once the student logs into a test. Text-to-speech is available for all students in science and math, and for students with TTS selected on their ELA. Headphones are a requirement for DLM students. KELP students, just as a reminder again, they need an integrated headset. There are no wireless headphones or earbuds allowed. Moving on to math, 25 questions for each session. They're about 45 to 60 minutes in length. There's some resource sheets for grades 4 through 8 and grade 10. They're available in the Kite student portal. We also download that on the G drive. In math, text-to-speech is available for everyone. Secondary students, there's no calculator use on section 1. Section 1. Calculator use is allowed in both sections of session 2. Except for grade 6, which you can use the calculator only on section 2. For grade 3 through 5, there's no calculator use allowed, period. Grades 6 through 8, they have a 4-function and scientific calculator available in Kite. Grade 10, they have a 4-function graphing calculator in Kite. Handheld calculators are okay, but you must log the usage each and every time. Science is in grades 5, 8, and 11. TTS, text-to-speech, is available for everyone. 2 sessions, about 45 to 60 minutes in length. It may have a performance test. Online calculator available for all grades on certain questions. Use of math resource sheets is prohibited.
Okay, as far as history government goes, we are going to test that in grades 4, 7, and 11. It's classroom-based assessment only. You score it at the school level. Everybody has to take it, including the DLM kids. Got to hit 95% or we're in trouble. And anybody that shows up after April 15th, they don't have to worry about it. And so the main contact person on this is going to be Leslie Nelson, and her extension is 4114. Okay, for high schools only. This primarily deals with the ACT. State's going to be on the 24th of February. It's juniors only. Be very, very careful as far as reclassifying kids. We still have issues with this. So, for example, if you have a 10th grader, the window opens and you reclassify that student as 11th grader, we don't catch that. And so what happens at the end of the year is you've got a 10th grader that shows up that did not test ELA, did not test math, an 11th grader who's the same student that did not test science. So we keep getting bid on this. So be very, very careful. And please, whatever you do, do not reclassify a kid after Valentine's Day of 2026. I know it's a Saturday, but that's your deadline.
Just keep going.
Okay. As far as getting the room set up so that you can prepare for testing, you want to make sure you cover up anything related to the content area that's being tested or take it down. Uh, you don't want any kind of perceived cheating to go on during the test session. So cover it up, something that they can't see through. Don't use cellophane or anything like that. Uh, no background music. If they need background music, set it on the PNP and let it come through the system. You cannot use calming music that the teacher puts on for the test. Check out the Summative Test Administration Manual. It give you a little bit more of an idea what to do. Manipulatives, make sure that those are out, and we cannot force students to use those. Make sure the manipulatives are something that they're used to using throughout the year. Test tickets. In order to put these together, you're going to have to get the PNPs done by the 13th of March. After that point, I will pull the reports and start putting together your test tickets and send them out in bundles. So that's the week of spring break. Nothing's going on. I'll get you taken care of. Don't worry about it. And this is what a elementary test ticket will look like. Secondary, there'll be a separate ticket for each content area. And so you'll have a few more tickets. Access codes, you should all be familiar with these. We'll try to get those sent out the day before, probably around 3 o'clock. You can read what the slide says. They just, as soon as they get signed into the test, they'll be asked for the daily access code. Put it up there on the whiteboard. When you're done testing, erase it. Don't leave it up there. Okay, during testing, before they get started, make sure that the students have signed out of their Chromebook so that they're essentially in kiosk mode is what they call it. Down there at the bottom on the taskbar, you should have a little folder that says TPS apps. They click on that, open it up, have them open up the student portal. Make sure that there are no wireless peripherals allowed or any kind of flash drive stuck into that Chromebook. We don't want them cheating, so to say. Not like I would ever accuse anybody of doing that, but the temptation would be there. Make sure you're up, walking around. That's simple to do, but there's too many times I walk into a classroom, especially if I have a monitor from the state where nobody's up moving around. And if you're doing ELA, beware of the orange box problem. There is no way to shut that off. It refers to Google Speak, which is a built into Google Chrome. There's nothing we can do about it, and so you're just going to have to watch for it. Okay, if you run into a problem, such as students having issues with not being able to figure out what to answer or how to answer it, these are some helps for you to get them through it. If you have an issue with it or you think it needs to be reported, just let me know. Just tell me what the content area is, the session/section that you're doing, and the number, and I will send it in CETE and they can look at it. Same thing goes if you are doing science and you have a student that is refusing to answer the question based upon religious grounds. Let me know about it and I'll send it in. Whatever you do, do not take a picture of the student's screen. Do not let the student take a picture of the screen, and do not send me a movie of it. Okay. I I fully understand. If you just tell me what it is, I will not have an issue trying to figure out where it is. Okay, whenever a student raises their hand, says they're done, make sure you go in there and look at that review end screen. Make sure that all questions have been answered. If a student just logs out and you don't get a chance to see that review end screen, make them log back in and check it and then have them log back out. Okay, this is all old hat. Um, I mean, you can just read the slide and just go from there. Like I said, this has really not changed over the years. Same thing with the reactivations. You'll have a reactivation log out there on the G drive. You'll be expected to keep that up to date. If you're being monitored, the monitor will want to see that reactivation log. And whatever you do, don't just reactivate a test session unless there are omitted items on it in its incomplete status. Otherwise, that throws a flag. I get a nasty email, and at some point, I know they're going to want to come in and take a look. So just please don't do that. This is kind of what I covered before, but if the student is just clicking through it, if they're having some issues, just go ahead and have them sign out. We'll try it again later. Okay. If you got a kid that you want that cannot test for whatever reason, I've got to have those codes and I will attempt to get them out. If you have me put a test SC code in for, like, say, truancy, the child shows up and you have them test, and I don't pull that code off there, it's going to show up as a non-test. The SC code will take precedence over a test score. So these are basically the what I'm looking for as far as getting your student coded out so that they don't count against you for participation. Um, the big one is probably the truancy / child in need of care petition. Yeah, a lot of times schools will send me information saying we filed this. And so I go to Dr. Grimes and I say, has this been filed? And she may or may not say, well, we haven't gotten anything from the school yet. So please make sure that it actually gets to Dr. Grimes. That way it can be filed. Because if I don't have some kind of validation on the affidavit, I'm not putting the code on there. Okay, this stuff has not changed any over the years. As a BTC, these are what is going to be expected of you. Um, you're going to have to make sure you get everybody tested. You got to keep a valid test schedule out there on the Google Drive. And you're going to have somebody there that has access to SPED Pro or the IEPs. Do not print out all the IEPs for all your kids. Just somebody that has access to the system, because if a monitor shows up, they will probably want to see that cover sheet on the IEP. Test schedules, I got to have them by the 6th. I try to be as lenient as possible with these, but KSDE does look these up, or they keep an eye on them. And so a lot of times they'll send me an email asking questions about them. So your schedules have got to have the exact date, the content area, the testing times, who's teaching, and the grade level, and where in the building they're going to be located. If you got a problem as far as you think somebody's cheating, just let Bob or myself know, and we'll look into it. We may or may not have to get a hold of KSDE or ACT, but report it. Don't try to cover it up. Okay, this is all basic stuff again. It's been taken care of, or we've done it this way for a long time. Just whatever you do, don't insert yourself into the testing process. Allow the student to do the best they can on the test, and you just stay out of it. Make sure you keep the test tickets locked up between test sessions/sections, and then as soon as you're done, make sure you shred them. And then I don't know, I don't know what the building policies are on cleaning up the manipulatives, but that's beyond us. This is more of a reminder for you. Okay, got to make sure you get everybody sign off on the testing or the test ethics, either by watching this or going through all these documents here. We'll make sure that all that stuff's out there in your A&E folder. So I'm trying to make your life as easy as possible with this. The fact sheet, I don't think has changed aside from the date that they put on the bottom. I didn't see any changes to it. All your test scripts will be in the CAP Summative Test Administration Manual. Those have not changed any. It's just the location. It used to be in the Kansas Assessment Examiner's Manual. They've since split that up into 3 different manuals. I don't know why, but that's your tax dollars at work. Once again, don't do anything to point a student in the right direction as to how to answer a question, or tap them if it's right or wrong. Watch your voice inflection too. This is essentially what I covered earlier. The day before, you can go over some of your strategies as far as test taking to help them complete the assessment, but not the day of the test. Don't teach to the test. If you just follow your normal classroom schedule, you'll be fine. But don't sit there and say, oh yeah, I saw this question on section 1 over there. Let's kind of go over that a little bit. Yeah, don't do that. And don't do mini test the day prior to doing your summative. Oh, and just as a reminder, or to let you know, the summative blueprints are out there on the CAP site right now. So in case you're curious as to what may be on that summative test, you can go out there and look. Been over this. Don't do anything to guide the student to a certain answer. All we can do is make manipulatives and scratch paper and tools available to them, but we can't tell them what to do. That's another good thing about doing a practice test or a mini test. Let them get used to seeing what kind of tools are available to them out there. Make sure the scratch paper gets trashed as soon as it gets done. No answer keys. Of course, that's been forever. Yeah, whatever you do, don't give a student many words. You can read an isolated word to a student. but nothing as far as the story itself, like an ELA. So, but there again, that really hasn't changed too much. This is a lot of common sense stuff. You're going to have to kind of rely on your own conscience and whatever your ethical guidance is. Um, so this is stuff that we've already spoke about earlier. You got to be an employee. You cannot be an outsider. Uh, Student teachers and things like that, they can be in there and help monitor it. But as far as assistants, things like that, no, they just have to remain an observer. Um, Make sure you get signed off on your ethics training. There could be a questionnaire out there on that G Drive, uh, or you can use the form that's in the CAP test coordinator manual on page 54. And there again, this is something that the monitor team will want to see once they show up. I try to pick all this stuff off before they ever get to the school, but sometimes, especially if it's a KSDE employee, they don't care. They will want to see everything when they get to the school. Monitoring visits, they're going to try to step those up this year. They brought this up that they're having issues getting people to go monitor schools. So I'm hoping that the emphasis is more on Western Kansas this year, but you never can tell. Since we're in KSD's backyard, we may and probably will get nailed. The form is out that they use is out there on the test security guidelines 2025, 2026 on pages 7 and 8. That will also be in your A&E folder out on the Google Drive. And before they show up, they will let us know. And I will come out, we'll walk the building down with whoever your building test coordinator is. So you shouldn't have any issues right there. I think we are done. Bob?
We are.
Okay.
Have a blessed day. All right. Now, end meeting for